Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere sisters and the scattered Israelites who are amongst these other nations and look like these other nations. This lesson is going to be a quick one just based on this single vehicle crash that resulted in one person being dead. And this just goes to show that even though majority of people are focusing on the war that's happening in Iran, the Lord is still dishing out other forms of judgment. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and the Lord's will, you're edified. It says one person is dead after a single vehicle crash in St. Louis Park late Monday night. According to St. Louis Park Police, officials responded to reports of a vehicle fire shortly before midnight near Old Cedar Lake Road and Quinton Avenue South, just east of Highway 100. Authorities found a sedan was overturned on its roof and fully engulfed in flames. Witnesses said the car had rolled over and that no one was seen getting out after the crash. Police said that due to the intense flames, officers could not safely approach the vehicle to determine whether anyone was inside. After the fire was eventually extinguished, firefighters found one person dead in the car. A family member identified the victim as 23-year-old Joey Law. Video evidence from the crash scene showed that the car failed to navigate a curve at high speed, left the road, hit a group of trees, ignited, and rolled. The crash is currently under investigation. Yeah. So that was some heavy judgment from the Lord. Because the Lord put the spirit on that person to be moving at a high rate of speed trying to go around a curve. Because anybody in their right mind knows that if there's a curve, you have to slow down. But if the Lord puts the spirit on you to keep going at a certain speed and try to take that curve, it's going to end badly. And this was an example of that. Psalms 9:16, the Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hegeon Selah. And that's right. The Heavenly Father is known by his judgments. And these car crashes, plane crashes, animal attacks, fires, storms, tempests, earthquakes, shootings, stabbings, all of these events are the judgments of the Lord. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And through his various forms of judgment, the Lord wounds and kills people on a daily basis. And in this particular judgment, somebody got killed. And that was the will of the Lord being fulfilled. 1 Samuel 2:6, the Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. And that's right. So whenever someone dies, that was the judgment of the Lord. The Lord killed that person because the Lord decides whether you live or die. And if the Lord wants you to die, he decides how you're going to die. What a lot of people don't understand is that life and death is in the hand of the Lord. Job 4:7, remember I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is that nobody has perished being innocent. So that person who died in that crash, they were not innocent. And that's why the Lord brought that judgment upon them. Verse 8, even as I have seen they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's what's happening. More and more people are reaping what they've sown in the form of the judgment of the Lord being brought upon them. And there's nothing they can do to escape or be delivered from that judgment. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for that person, that 23-year-old, it was their time to die. That's why that crash was so heavy. That's why it was such a severe crash. Because the Lord set it up to where they were not going to survive that crash. You know, when Salakia, when the person crashed, you know, when they hit that group of trees, according to the article, you know, they probably got knocked unconscious. So there was no way for them to escape. And then on top of that, the car was on fire. So the Lord, he will set up a scenario where there is no way for you to escape if he wants you to perish, if he wants you to die. And in these last days, a lot of people are going to die in very severe, horrific manners. And their loved ones and their friends are going to be left mourning and weeping. James 4:9, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter return to mourning and your joy to heaviness. And in these last days, that's what's happening. People's laughter and their joy is being replaced with mourning and weeping and heaviness. And that's only going to escalate and intensify as the Lord brings more judgments upon the earth. You know, more death, destruction, chaos, many great miseries as punishment for the continual wickedness of these people. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still firmly preaching the word, sincerity, and in faith. Shalom to all the sincere sisters, the Akwath, and all the scattered Israelites who are amongst these other nations and look like these other nations. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.